subscribe to my sister's channel. She will also voice her favorite plots. Let's give her a big asset. Another summer evening in the village of the Hidden Leaf, seemingly unremarkable. Everyone is doing their own thing. For example, the kids are playing ninja and throwing wooden shurikens at each other. They are future shinobi, defenders of the village and keepers of the will of fire, shinobi rushing to a mission or to the residence in order to report on the successful implementation mission or failure, civilists walking around the evening village, merchants closing their shops and many others. Everyone is doing their own thing. Without going into details of what others are doing, the life of the village is fussy, but at the same time measured. At the beginning it was said that the evening looks unremarkable, but it is not. Today the evening will be marked by the fact that the company consisting of the mothers of the group called Konoha 11 will decide to remember their youth and have fun properly. In the mansion of the Uzumaki clan, a motley company of women gathered, not young, but in the prime of life. The owner of the mansion, Uzumaki Kushina, was in charge of the kitchen. She was helped by close friends, the wife of the head of the Uchiha clan, Mikoto and Haruno Mabuki. In the living room she was Yamanaka, Yoshino Nara, Hana Hyuga and Inazuka Tsum, who peacefully chatted about the daily life, about what wonderful children they have, about what each does of them, because they haven't been going together for a long time. Half an hour later, the table was set. Treats were served, drinks were open. We can say that the party was considered open, by a unanimous decision of all those present. The hostess of the house, Kushina, had to open it. My dear friends, we haven't been together for so long, we have something to remember, there is something to tell, so let's drink to the wonderful evening that we will spend together. Kanpai. The clink of glasses and the laughter of women who could finally relax could be heard from all sides. Women rarely drank, and therefore they got drunk after the second shot, even though they are shinobi, but hops affect everyone alone, and as you know, a drunk woman likes to gossip doubly. Tell me, Kushi, Minato is constantly at work, probably comes back late, does he at least give you some time? Hana asked, who was pretty drunk, modest to the core. Hinata's mother and Hanabi behaved now not like an aristocrat, but like a completely ordinary woman from an ordinary family. Hana, in secret, Minato and I haven't had a lemon for a very long time, probably 5 months, if not more. Uzumaki sighed bitterly. I have to do it the old-fashioned way, well, sometimes with toys. She blushed a little. I understand, Hayashi is also like a fucking impotent. I go to him this way and that, but he does not interfere, the affairs of the clan. Hyuga snorted. Girls, what about you? Well. Some said. I don't have a husband at all, so there's no way, and I have a fugaku, a face like a brick, sitting all such a turkey, probably I don't attract him anymore. Mikoto replied sadly, well, come on, Mikoto, you'll give any youngster a head start. She replied. You're out there, what a breast, and the ass, wow, the juice. Miko only smiled shyly at her friend's words, but in her heart she was grateful. Well, I'll continue, come on. The others said together, Inoichi. Yamanaka paused. Gay, what? Is it true? It can't be. The ladies shouted excitedly, yes, he admitted it himself 6 months ago. He says he has a lover, it seems from his department. As soon as I heard, I immediately moved to another room. She chuckled, that's right, you poor thing, and Ino too. Sympathized with Mabuki's friend. And my Kazashi, he's an idiot, as soon as he gets to it, he always comes down and says, they say, where is my fur? Ugh, nasty, Mabuki? And do you really have a forest there? Yoshino asked sarcastically, no, what are you, like a neat haircut? Quite nothing. Haruno blushed. And in general, what does she have? Well, I have a giant shikaku. Everyone was mentally envious of her friend, but at the same time they were glad. Just 2 minutes. Here the women could not stand it and the house shook with laughter. At that moment, the hallway door opened and a rather cute guy, about 16 years old, known as Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, entered it. "Mom, I'm home." When he entered the living room, he was embarrassed because there were a lot of women around him, beautiful women, drunk women. Hello. He scratched the back of his head. I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, it's Naruto. Naru-chan, come to us, sit with us. Or are we unworthy of your company? She chirped cheerfully. No, of course they are worthy, that is, even very much, I just have things to do. At the end, Naruto, blushing, rushed off like a bullet to the second floor. Everyone was surprised and intrigued by the behavior of the hostess's son, so some asked a logical question, "Hey, Kushina, what is it with your offspring?" In a rather brazen manner, she asked, "Well, I don't know, maybe I came from a mission, or I got sick there." The bloody habanera answered with a slurred tongue. 5 minutes earlier, "Kushi, can we go to Naruto? Shall we find out how he is?" Mikoto asked. She was always worried about her godson, of course. "Well, let's go, girls." Kushina agreed and together with everyone quietly went up to the second floor. Naruto was waiting for his last minute. He would die the death of the brave at the hands of the mother of a good friend. The seconds dragged on forever. The touch and Naruto's heart almost stopped. POV Naruto, Yoshino-san, what are you doing? I ask hoarsely. It's not right. Stop it. No, Naru, you have to answer for words, right girls? They nodded amicably and amicably clung to me from all sides. Then there was a lemon. The narration will be conducted from the original, because clones transmit experience and memories. Nara Yoshino, I've always liked her, a domineering, sexy woman with black hair tied in a ponytail and very expressive, brown eyes. The breast is about the second size, perfect, fits in the palm of your hand as if poured in. I love this. The ass is lush, but not flabby, but elastic and sexy. For some reason, it was with her that I wanted something unusual. I decided that I simply had to give her pleasure and I don't care that I myself would not be satisfied. And then, a debt to a friend. Shika was my first friend, and debts need to be paid. Yoshino-san, what do you want? I asked in a sweetly cloying voice. I haven't enjoyed it for a long time, so start by encouraging me. Naruto-kun, it will be executed. I saluted jokingly and pressed my lips to hers. You've always wanted Ino, right? Hirono the elder asked. That's right, I always saw her as a large-caliber slut, and her figure, yes, I flowed at ordinary dinners with her. She's so sweet. And you're Mabuki? Have you been wanting Sakura for a long time? Yamanaka asked. No, at night, I went into her room and saw her in her nightgown, juicy hips, wasp waist, small but sexy breasts. I then sat on the floor and played with my pussy for a long time, looking at my daughter. Mabuki confessed. Now Naruto-kun, you will help us, but only create a banana for our girls. Mommy, are you tied up? What happened? The fake Sakura spoke in a playful voice. Shall I untie you? No, my daughter is fine. Mabuki got her bearings. I want you and your friend to punish us. Severely punished. Remember when we were kids we spanked you. I want you to take revenge. Your bad moms deserve it, mommy. Whatever you say. We took the straps and the first blow followed, on the wonderful asses of mothers. Mom, you were bad, you deserved it. Ino followed suit and also began to beat her mother. Yes, girls, we are bad, spank us. She said through sobs. We'll be good. Use us. Well, Mom, are you ready to experience amazing sensations? Sakura clone asked the question. You're going to get it in full. Good morning, Naruto-kun. Hana said in a sleepy voice. The others followed her in and also wished good morning. Morning. I replied. Sit down, breakfast is almost ready. Finish manipulating this dish and arrange portions in front of each person present. I sat down on a chair and sipped freshly brewed coffee. It's time to start a conversation. Ahem, dear ladies, what happened yesterday was amazing, but I am interested in what will happen next. I said with mock seriousness. Next? Kushina asked, but after exchanging glances with the others, she nodded and continued her remark. Then, my son, there will be only a sea of lemon. Look at us here, there are 7 of us here, and we are hungry for satisfaction, so you will have to try dear. Yes, it's not an easy task to satisfy the mature kunoichi. What? I'm on schedule that I kind of wanted to become a Hokage, but with you on a mission there will be no time left. I was indignant, not that I didn't want this, but still I'm not a terrorist. I've thought of everything. We'll make a schedule. For example, each of us will get 1 day a week, and your mom, you will be in the evenings, as you satisfy us. Yoshino, as a representative of the Nara clan, was distinguished by excellent logical thinking, and what, every day a new woman, in the evening, mom, great. Well, how is it? Agree? Of course. Am I a fool to refuse such a thing? Well, let's fix the contract. Mabuki, do me a favor. Nara asked. Mabuki got up from her chair and slid under the table. What are you? Oh, hello. The girl who climbed in the window greeted. Mom? What are you doing here, Itachi? My friends and I, at the request of Kushina, agreed to help with Naruto's training. Mikoto replied. You see, he wanted to learn the basics of conducting a joint battle, with a representative of each clan. Yeah, she's a great liar. That's how. Well, Naruto-kun, Hokage is waiting for us. You have a mission. She reported calmly. You have 10 minutes to pack. Hello Itachi-chan, I dropped an earring here, tried to find it, alas, it didn't work out. And in truth, the earring was only in one ear, it was missing in the other. Haruno came up with a good idea. I'll come back from the mission with a protein shake. Hello Mabuki-san, nice to see you again. Yes, Uchiha has problems with expressing emotions, would be more smiling, would be right here, but what, the figure is awesome, the chest is beautiful, the ass is appetizing, and the eyes, are not a woman, but a dream. Okay, Itachi-chan, come on, I'm ready. I'll just put on my sandals. Passing into the hallway, I said, putting on my shoes, I was ready to go out. We left the house, we reached the residence in oppressive silence. Uchiha was not in the mood for a conversation, and I didn't want to anger her, so I kept quiet. Entering my father's office, we greeted him according to protocol. Hokage-sama, Uchiha Itachi and Naruto Uzumaki have arrived on your orders. Sasuke's sister rapped out, at ease, I have a mission for you. However, in addition to you two, Sakura Haruno, Inazuka Hana and Uchiha Sasuke will go. At the same moment, the named girls entered, well, a chic straight harem, a pink-haired, a dog lady and an arrogant bitch. Father, Hokage-sama, why is the composition like this? I asked with interest. Naruto, it is compiled according to the mission requirements. Sakura is a medic, Hana is a scout, Sasuke is a fighter at medium distances, you are at close quarters, Itachi is a universal. The optimal composition for the task. Any more questions? Minato snapped. If there are no questions, then go, the essence of the mission is in the scroll, Commander Itachi. Are free, there is. Everyone present rant, SABSS, I will have to carry out a mission in the company of these nuts, there is no Kon and Itachi yet, but Sakura and Sasuke are just walking. EC, beauties of course, but their character is filthy, one is hot-tempered and strong like the Hulk, the other is an arrogant icicle. So, team, meet at the gate in an hour, everyone disperse, get ready. Everyone went towards their homes in order to pack their things. I like it, I have all my things sealed in a scroll that I carry in my inventory bag. Kick the fool for another hour, which means you can also look into Ichiraka. I came to Ichiraku about 5 minutes later. Ayame greeted me when she entered. Her father was not there, as it turned out, he left for Sunagakure to open a branch. That's why I was in charge. Hi Chan, I'll have a portion of ramen with pork. It will be done. She said fervently. I was always surprised by her mood, she was cheerful no matter what. I admired her in this regard. No, of course I'm also an optimist, but I'm more of an actor. I know how to pretend, I'm not stupid, just a fool mask allows me to stay in the shadows and do what I want. Deep in thought, I did not notice how a hot bowl of ramen was already standing in front of me. Thank you. Itadakimasu. Ramen is delicious, but I don't like it too much, but before the mission it will help well, give the necessary energy. How are you? Yes, not bad, Naruto, tell me, am I beautiful? I choked, because I did not expect such a question. Am I sexy? Yes, of course, your breasts are beautiful, your ass is incredibly exciting, your face is pretty, and in general, you're just perfect. I'd say you're the most beautiful person I know. I was blatantly lying. No, the girl was pretty, but you can't call her perfect, but I'm not a bastard, I don't want to spoil her self-esteem. Then I have one more request. She pleaded. Will you do it? Yes, why not? I've never had a man, and I'm already 18, I want to feel someone in me. That's why me. Out of the blue, I'm a sex magnet now. I could not refuse a nice girl such a request, and she was quite attractive, I would even say beautiful. You can say this about her, she doesn't have enough stars from the sky, but she doesn't crawl on the ground either, such a completely confident middle-class person. It didn't make sense to describe her appearance, since the girl is quite ordinary, but I wanted her, she was always kind to me, not much older, perhaps the most beautiful thing about her is a good-natured smile. Chan, I will gladly fulfill your request, but I don't want your first time to be crumpled and not clear. I want it to be unforgettable, and I have a mission, we have less than an hour, this will not be enough for us. Do you agree with me? I asked hopefully, because I really didn't want her to lose her virginity in a dirty back room. Naruto-kun, I understand you don't want me, because I'm just a waitress. With longing in her voice she said. I'm not offended. Without letting her finish, I jumped over the countertop and covered her lips with my own, the most effective way to calm the girl, she answered, rather hesitantly, but she answered. I didn't keep track of the time of our kiss, but we didn't have enough air, so we broke the kiss, but she remained in my arms, dragging her into the back room. I closed the door and decided to continue. Dear, you attract me, but I really want your first time to be pleasant, so that it will be remembered as an important, bright event. I tried to persuade her. In return, I will make you feel good, but I will not go to the most important thing. While saying these phrases, I was already slowly untying the belt on the robe, her breasts appeared before me, my bright pink nipples were already swollen and indicated that she was very excited. I began to cover my neck with kisses, going down to the cherished hills. Naruto. Don't stop. She said it as if I was going to. I continued the caresses, my tongue circled the nipple halo, she trembled, she was pleased, I savored the nipple with my tongue, caressed the second breast with one hand, and with the other I already got into her panties, preparing her for a delicious cunnilingus in my performance. When I finished playing with my breasts, I went down lower, having previously pulled down her pants and panties. I'm going to make you feel good now, but that's it. I said, not brooking objections. The rest when I get back. I hope in my absence you will bleed juices thinking about me. She mumbled something in response, but I took it for agreement. Well, let's start. I licked her along the entire length of the labia, touching the clitoris. It's too early to penetrate, you need to stretch her pleasure. With the index finger of my left hand, I began to stimulate the anus ring, while licking the sweet pussy. With the other hand I crushed her ass. Iam's excitement seemed to have reached a peak, because she oozed like a waterfall, however, and then she surprised me, losing all shyness. She literally pressed my face into the vagina, methodically with my head, no, of course I don't mind, but my male pride was hurt. Well, okay, today you can. There were 10 minutes left before the meeting of our team. I decided to spend them usefully. Putting my hand to the seal, I took a book from my spatial pocket and began to read. Time flew by quickly. I was distracted by a voice. Hey, idiot, since when did you start reading? The younger Uchiha asked arrogantly. I didn't think you could, and you Sasuke-chan, apparently you want to be spanked. Not everyone likes insults, you know. Uchiha looked at me in surprise and chuckled, and meanwhile I put the book in a pouch for kunai and other shinobi utensils. I liked it and I intended to finish reading it on the way, so there was no point in sealing it. Stop swearing, so I'll tell you about the essence of our mission. Itachi-senpai is serious as always. Sakura and Hana are also focused. Seeing our mute agreement, she continued. The priestess of the land of demons needs help. The team that calls itself the Before of Sound threatens the security of this country. Apparently Orochimaru is the head of Otogekyur no Sato, is interested in something. Is there any information about the composition of this team? I was interested. Yes, there is. Uchiha answered in surprise. It consists of strong shinobi. Each of them has a juin, a cursed seal, which strengthens them several times. The names are unknown, but they are dangerous opponents, since Orochimaru himself trusts them. So the purpose of the mission is to follow the Before of Sound. In case of a direct or indirect threat to the welfare of the country of demons or the health of the priestess, it is necessary to eliminate them. Is it clear to everyone? That's right. A chorus of voices confirmed that the essence and purpose of the mission are clear. And now the formation. Hana, you and your Ninken are going ahead. Your nose will help you figure out the enemies. Naruto and I are in the middle. We will be able to repel an attack both near and at a distance. Sakura, you go next to last. In case of an attack, we will cover the front, and Sasuke will cover the back. Sasuke, you are the last one. Your task is to scan the environment with a Sharingan, to prevent attacks from the rear. Is the arrangement clear? We nodded in agreement again. Then let's go. We went outside the village and started running. After some time we were already jumping up trees with might and main, making our way to the land of demons. I still became interested in the real purpose of the mission. Tracking the Before of Sound is clearly not the main task. Most likely, we have to protect what they are hunting for. It's something, either an artifact or a weighty person, but you don't need to ask questions in front of everyone. They will obviously be interested in the reason for my changes, because I have always behaved like a fool. The mask cannot be destroyed. Only Itachi guesses that this mask is a mask. Uzumaki, what are you thinking about? Uchiha asked. Nothing about Itachi-san, admiring the beauty of nature. She only grimaced at such a statement. Naruto, watch for the appearance of possible opponents, and do not look around the nature. The above-mentioned person explained the capital truth in a mentoring tone. That's right. Still, it's strange. It's unlikely that this so-called four acts alone. In confirmation of my words, kunai whistled over my head. The attack, damn, is not at the right time. Itachi-san, attack. I know. Kon, from which side are they attacking? The heiress of the Uchiha clan asked with concern. North. Stop. East. No, they are moving at a monstrous speed not to keep track. Inuzuka replied nervously. So, I know what's going on, Kai. My example was followed by the others. Genjutsu, who are they? Opponents, since they were able to catch Sharingan carriers, thanks to Kurama, he prompted. Naruto, how do you understand? A question from the younger Uchiha. It's strange, she didn't call me by my name before. It doesn't matter, concentrate on Sasuke-chan's opponents. She blushed and turned away. It's strange what it would be for. Sakura, hide behind Uchiha, not a word. Quickly. I decided to command while everyone was stunned by what was happening. By the way, Itachi and I came to our senses the fastest, the rest were in a stupor. Haruno stood behind Uchiha. So good, the medic is safe. Now we need to find the enemy, Naruto, for 3 hours, 2 strong centers of chakra, at least Hunin. Damn, it's bad, I notified Kurama, but it doesn't get any easier from hour to hour. Itachi, 2 jounins for 3 hours. I shared the information with the commander. Well done, he found us. 2 people came out of the forest. This is very bad. I identified them as Amuri Ringo and Kurira Kushimaru, 2 swordsmen of the mist. Fuck, what do they need here? The answer came immediately. Here you are, Konoha shinobi, we won't let you protect the priestess. It's time to die. Raiden, ball lightning. Lightning, released from swords, rushed at us. It's bad, you need to dodge or repel. Futon, a multi-layered storm. The wind currents have softened the damage from the opponent's attack, but still not completely. One of Hana's Ninken was injured. I didn't have time to cover the entire territory with a dome. Not bad brat, but not enough. The swordswoman spoke with obvious contempt. Now you are definitely finished. Kushimaru, come on, Ninpo, Kirigakure no Jutsu. The second swordsman spoke in a calm voice. Damn, the technique is strong, everything is shrouded in fog, it is denser than Zabuza's. Nothing is visible at all. Ninpo, sword, needle. A voice from the fog and someone's cry. With the help of sensory abilities, I felt the center of the Sakura chakra go out. The main thing is to eliminate the medic, one of the laws of shinobi. Calmly summed up the one who struck the blow. Damn, Sakura. I created a clone and sent it to Sakura. Thanks to my sensory abilities, I easily found her. Apparently the clone has already given her first aid. Itachi, Sasuke, take on Kushimaru. Guy, me and Hana will take on Ringo Uzumaki. Are you commanding with the fuck? The youngest of the Uchi asked indignantly. Sasuke, shut up, he's not stupid, on the contrary, he's very smart. Naruto, we understand, we'll do it. Itachi turned out to be more astute than I thought. Well, you can't get away from questions in the future. Well, you have to live to see them. And now the fight. Naruto, the command is on you. Futon, rush. This technique allowed to disperse the fog, to see the opponents. Hana, use Gatsugu. There is, beast imitation technique, clone beast. Hana and her dog started the technique. Gatsuga. 2 whirlwinds rushed towards the enemy. She deftly evaded the attacks, but Inuzuka managed to distance her from Kushimaru. Great, and now, Futon, dissecting blade. Several deadly blades flew towards Amuri, but she dodged, but I didn't finish either. Futon, air palm. I captured her with an air palm. Lightning is weaker than wind, so even her blades will not save. Squeezing wind's palm harder, she lost consciousness. POV Itachi, Naruto is strong, he was able to disperse the fog, and before that to repel the attack, he surprised me, and now our fight with Sasuke, we need to concentrate on him. Swordsman, surrender, your companion is defeated. You're not going to get anything. Pathetic of course, but maybe he will give up. Suetun, the water dragon. A huge dragon created from water rushed at us. Damn, I don't own the earth element, only fire and water, but I have a weaker Suetun. Sasuke, fire technique. Now, there is. Kato, the great fire dragon. We released 2 dragons. They were able to suppress enemy equipment, because as you know, if a technique of a weaker element is created by 2 shinobi or with a large amount of embedded chakra, it will win. A cloud of steam covered us. The fire was able to overcome the water element. Great, let's continue. I activated the Sharingan and tried to spot the swordsman. I didn't have to look for a long time, he appeared by himself, or rather his sword. He scratched my cheek. I was still lucky, despite the fact that I had these eyes, I couldn't completely dodge. Sasuke, use Raiden, Chidori Senbon. The sister was understanding, attacked in the direction from which the sword appeared, but it's not that simple. the sword is a needle, it's specific, the trajectory of the attack is unpredictable, so the sister missed. Damn it, Itachi, he's gone, cool down, let's group up and keep looking. Standing back to back, we continued to scan the area. Sasuke, he's there, on the right, in the trees, I see, Kato, giant fireball. A fireball launched by my sister flew towards the tree where Kushimaru was hiding. As expected, he dodged, however, I am not so simple. Cloning technique, the great explosion. My clone, created in advance, completed its task, the explosion stunned the opponent. You were careless, my clone created during the veil of fog was covered with explosive seals, he had to hide and appear at the right moment. Damn, I can't get out of the habit of explaining my actions to my opponent, brats, they could still. Spitting blood, he disappeared, badly, we missed him, I hope Naruto and Hana are doing better. End POV Itachi. After some time, we met at the place where we split up. Itachi, how are you doing? Are you hurt? I asked anxiously. No, I just have a scratch. Sasuke is fine, how are you? How is Sakura? The girl responded, we are fine, we captured the swordswoman, we will interrogate her when she wakes up. And Sakura, she's fine, the clone has healed her wound, now she just needs to rest. Okay, then we'll set up camp, we need to recuperate. Uchiha answered wearily. Hana and I will have dinner. Sasuke, gather firewood, Naruto is on you to interrogate a prisoner. There is. It came from all sides. Uchiha Jr. went to collect firewood and kindling, Hana and Itachi started cooking dinner, and I had to interrogate Amuri. Going deeper into the forest with my captive, I put her on the ground and poured cold water over her. I brought her to her senses. Great, why did they attack us? I asked in a serious voice. You mentioned the priestess, what does she have to do with it? Go to hell, kid. I won't say anything. Well, why can't any opponent start talking right away? It's clear that in any case he will talk, over time. That's how interesting you are, shark teeth, tits are nothing like that. Squeezing her chest, I replied. Perhaps I'll play with you, but you won't be happy with this game, I'll hurt you. A lot of pain, she was tied up, so she won't be able to hurt me. After cutting her pullover and taking off her pants and panties, I began to study her. What little bastard, have you never seen a woman? She said defiantly. Unfinished. And hatched Zenki? I'll tear you up, and then I'll eat the bastard. Shut up. I slapped her in the face. Now you will understand why you should not contradict me. I printed out the poll, since it was in print, and put it to the pussy. Tell me why you attacked. On. Go, I won't say anything, come on, stick it in. And she is audacious, it is immediately obvious that she is not afraid. Well, she will have to act radically. Okay, take it. The pole was almost 1.5 meters in size, I shoved it into her for a good 30 centimeters, a hoarse moan turned into a scream escaped from her mouth, blood flowed from the vagina. Oh, the virgin got caught. Ringo, I see you were whole, if you don't want to die from this, you'd better talk. I told her that without stopping moving the pole. Puppy, I'll get free and kill you. She was crying, she was in pain, but the pain was not physical, but moral. Of course the great swordswoman of the mist is being raped with a pole as the last one. I remember you, I will kill you, your family. I'll get it everywhere, yes, chat. Of course you will, sweet. Okay, I'm tired, dinner will be ready soon, and she's silent, so it's time to move on to more decisive actions. I printed out another pole, which will be immersed in the second hole. Are you ready, Ringo? Her eyes widened in horror, and then followed a scream that alarmed the forest. 2 poles in 2 holes. I was not sorry for her, it became clear that she would not say anything, and therefore, methodical movements with her hands, the poles go in and out, but I drove them so as to leave her alive, but caused terrible damage to the insides. After a few minutes, I got tired, and she fainted from the pain shock. I sealed the poles back, took out the scroll and sealed her too. She would come in handy. I took the swords for myself as a trophy. When I returned to the camp, I saw that everyone was gathered, except Sakura. She was still recovering. "What have you been doing with Ringo for so long?" interrogated. "Well, or something else?" Hana asked slyly. "Raped, of course." I replied in the same manner. "Uzumaki, you can't do anything except your fist," Sasuke responded in her own manner. "Of course you're right, Sasuke-chan." Meanwhile, I remembered how her mother, Uchiha Mikoto, would have slapped Sasuke on the forehead for such words, because she herself was convinced that I was very, very good. "So, what's for dinner?" Inazuka answered my question, but her words upset me terribly. "Stewed rabbit, but you will get less. You've done too much wrong. And then you never know what you were doing there with that swordswoman. Consider it a punishment." And the Khan sees right at the root. "Yes, I agree I was guilty, but it's just illegal to deprive me of food." "Hana-chan, why is it so cruel?" After all, I was engaged in an interrogation, even though I didn't learn anything interesting. "Well, I've always been able to lie, because the interrogation is the second thing. I was more concerned about the presence of the mist swordswoman in the trophies, and now she's in the scroll. I've worked fruitfully." "Well, you're a fool, you couldn't even get the information out." "Fuck you, not a full portion." "Inazuka is a bitch, she threw a half-empty plate. Apparently everyone in their family is so arrogant and with a hubbub, but never mind, you will feel for yourself what it means to play with me." "Hana, don't do that to him, he tried." The eldest of the Uchiha took my side. "That's enough, Itachi, even though you are the commander, but this jerk needs to be punished." "Wait, doggy, the time will come for your punishment." "Okay, Itachi-san, don't worry, I'll be fine with this portion." After quickly eating a portion that was barely such, I continued. "Senpai, I forgot the tent at home, I'm sorry." I scratched the back of my head. "How did I forget? I just didn't print it out. I have plans." "I told you he was an idiot," Sasuke asked. "And what do you do now, asshole?" "Sasuke, calm down." The eldest besieged her sister. "So, Sasuke and I are in the same tent, Sakura will be alone, she needs peace, and Hana and Naruto are in the other. Our friend can't sleep on the street." The calculation worked, it seems, but my heart feels Itachi understood everything. "Okay, Hana-chan, I'll set up our tent." I smiled so much that I almost tore my jaw. "Kami-sama, as I was told. This image, don't tear up the blonde." "Well, bitch, she will answer to me for everything." With such thoughts I went to lay out a tent. Half an hour later, everyone finished dinner and laid out places for the night. I also managed with my tent, more precisely with Hana's tent. Itachi put Sakura in one of the tents, and everyone went to their own. To sleep, I stayed on duty, but I had other plans. The night, how beautiful it is, not a cloud, just a clear, starry sky. The moon illuminated the earth, albeit partially. An owl screamed somewhere, announcing to us that the night was in full swing. Grasshoppers chirped. The fire did not go out to the end, the logs were still cracking. The night forest is as beautiful as it is dangerous, but today I am the predator. I listened and heard the measured snuffling of the girls, so it's time to put ideas into practice. I created a shadow clone and left it on duty. I myself took care of putting to sleep the dogs that were sleeping at the tent, a couple of cubes of sleeping pills, and they wake up only in the morning. Having made my way into the tent, without wasting a second, I folded the seals and created a soundproof barrier. I don't need to be heard. Then I climbed on top of Hana and covered her mouth with my hand. She woke up. "It's time to pay the bills, dear. You didn't know who you were contradicting, but not knowing does not absolve you from responsibility," I said, almost hissing. "Uzumaki, just let me get out, I'll chop you into small pieces." Her threats were not impressed. I decided not to torment and dig a kiss into her lips. The kiss was far from gentle. I roughly crushed her lips with my own. My tongue had already penetrated into her mouth and was completely in charge of it. She mumbled, tried to escape, kicked, that she would be my toy. That I spent the night shift fruitfully, immersed in thoughts. My thoughts revolved around what was happening to me, or rather they related to recent events, in connection with which I had to revise some details of my plan. I started developing it quite a long time ago, at the beginning of our journey with Jiraiya. However, due to lack of opportunities and close observation from Sannin, I postponed my plan for a later time. Returning to Konoha, I began to implement it. No, I did not think about world domination. I only planned to revive Uzushiyogakure, the village of my ancestors. Although I am Namikaze, but still I am more attracted to my mother's family. It is more noble, and no one has cancelled the knowledge of the clan. The priority task for me was to get the rank of a Hunin and increase the level of freedom of action, and then to restore the clan, but everything went awry a little. Now I almost have a whole harem, but this does not please me. If they find out about it, then anger and swift reprisals from other clans will not have to wait long. So, I have beautiful women available to restore the clan, a certain influence on them, which, alas, is quite shaky, as well as a whole heap of problems that urgently need to be solved. What should I do to get started? Well, firstly, it is necessary to strengthen their influence on the girls, to such an extent that they will support my initiatives without question, and it is also necessary to find new ones, because you can't do with mothers alone, and secondly, to get the damn title of a Hunin in order to have access to information and get a certain level of freedom, so I can take single missions, which are quite long, which means I will be able to spend time searching for Uzushio and start rebuilding the village. Thirdly, I need to find strong allies outside the village and preferably more. Fourth, you need to gradually remove the mask of the idiot, which completely stuck to my image. That's why I decided to pretend to be them at all. Oh, yes, I decided that jerks are underestimated, which means enemies will become easy prey. Well, I've finished playing, now they don't put me in anything at all. Okay, we'll figure it out. Destroying the image is not a problem, the main thing is to do it right. Excellent, the minimum plan is ready, it remains to complete the mission in order to begin its implementation. Having finished with the brainstorming, I grunted with satisfaction and took out a cigarette, lit it. I smiled blissfully. The night almost came to an end, it began to dawn. After taking the last puff, I threw out the cigarette butt and went to a small lake to clean myself up. Before leaving I created a clone and with a clear conscience went to clean the tusks. I walked unhurriedly to the exit from the forest thicket and was about to get out of it when I noticed someone's clothes on a stone. I decided to just watch, but I decided to get the kunai out of the pouch anyway. I wasn't tense, but I was wondering who was so stupid or brave that decided to swim near the shinobi camp. Looking closer, I saw that a girl was swimming in the lake, and even a very attractive girl. As soon as she swam to the shore, I recognized her. It was Itachi, her mother Uchiha. I wonder how this devil could slip past me, and even on time for my duty. While she was not dressed, I decided to teach her a lesson and, coming out of the thicket of the forest, I yawned loudly, attracting attention to myself. A moment's hesitation and now she pressed her clothes to her chest, trying in vain to cover her intimate parts of the body, and her figure is good. I appreciated it. Okay, let's start the play. Nay, Itachi-chan. What are you doing here? I asked, smiling stupidly. And why are you naked? Naruto. Turn away and don't peek. She shouted angrily, blushing. I mentally whistled, because this day will go down in history, the day when the cold princess of the Uchiha clan blushed and raised her voice. Don't shout so, Itachi-chan, I didn't see anything, honestly. I answered with a moronic face, but I decided to frolic. I'll tell you a secret before the mission. I set a tag for Hiration on each team member. A moment and I'm behind Uchiha. She's certainly strong, but without clothes, kunoichi of any level is an easy target. Itachi-chan, don't be so embarrassed, you are very beautiful. I ran a finger of one hand over her still wet neck, with the other hand I stroked her inner thigh. Lifting my hand up, I lightly touched the Uchiha's pussy. As a reward I heard a languid sigh. "Naruto, what the hell are you doing?" And continued in an icy voice. "If life is precious, then take your hands off, huh?" "I was just joking, don't worry Itachi-chan." Fuck, I underestimated her, and I thought she would blush even more. I walked away and turned away. Seeing my actions, she chuckled and quickly began to pull on her clothes. Without saying a word, she left, and I decided to follow her example and swim. Taking off my clothes, I slowly entered the water and took a dip. After a short swim, I decided to swim a little on my back and relax. Looking at the pre-dawn sky, I remembered the black-haired beauty from the red-eyed clan again and again. Well, as I thought, Itachi is not like everyone else. Most in such a situation can be taken lukewarm, and she not only suppressed embarrassment, but also showed character, and did not turn on the pink Hulk mode, but simply clearly and intelligibly explained that I was a corpse if I touched her again. She kind of hooked me. After leaving the lake, I took the scroll out of my pouch, printed out the toiletries. After completing all the necessary procedures, I got dressed and went to the camp. If you say that you had a morning with awkward moments, then I will laugh in your face and say that your morning compared to what was happening now is bullshit. It was quiet in the camp, but the atmosphere was not that creepy. It was terrible, because 3 of the 4 kunoichi woke up, and it was these 3 that I annoyed. They burned me with their eyes, they wanted my blood, they longed to wind my insides on a fist. So, with a Dalboab smile on my legs, I sat down on a log and tried to assess who hates me more. Well, it's clear to Sasuke, she can't stand me a priori. As a child I took tomatoes from her and ate them, while I giggled nastily, and she sobbed. After that I am the enemy of the people for her. Number 1, you can understand Khan, I am her, Itachi, and I will also understand her. I groped, but did you feel my clone burning a hole in me? So okay, they all hate me, and I couldn't figure out who more. Hannah, how did you sleep? Did I say that the idiot's mask has grown? So, she's just. When I realized what I had said, I swore softly and realized that the storm would not pass. What do you think, you blonde fucker? Everything hurts now. I ran into Itachi and Sasuke looking at me as a victim. I saw interest in their looks. This idiot set up a tent on the rocks. Even the sleeping bag did not save. It was terribly uncomfortable to sleep, and I'm sorry, Hana-chan, I stepped. Well, I didn't pass, thank you Kami-sama. Let's discuss the mission. We need to come up with a plan in case someone attacks us again, especially since Sakura is not yet able to fight and provide support, and there are normal thoughts in your stupid head. I'm surprised. Sasuke said arrogantly. He's right, you need to come up with a digestible plan. It will be difficult without a medic, and Sakura is out of business for at least a few days. I agree. Listen, I've come up with something, but first I need to know something. Who would doubt? After all, Itachi is a brilliant tactician, but Shikamaru is not up to it, but still. The attack of the mist swordsman was unexpected. Kushimaru escaped, but I am more than sure that he will return, possibly with reinforcements. Naruto defused Ringo, right? Tell me, what did you do to her? I sealed her in a scroll. She is alive, but seriously injured. Everyone was surprised. It's not so easy to seal a living person in a scroll. Wow, well I heard what I wanted, but then we'll talk in person. Itachi told me that, as I thought, I can't get away from the questions. And now I will outline the plan. Listen carefully. Looking around us and seeing that everyone was listening attentively, she grunted with satisfaction and continued. Now the most important thing is the restoration of Sakura. It will be difficult without a medic, especially considering the fact that we don't even know approximately what forces the enemy has. I will send a message to Konoha with a request to send another team. After that we will stop at the nearest settlement, replenish supplies, rest and wait for the support team. The plan was simple, but there was a rational grain in it. We really need to rest, well, to treat Sakura. As far as I remember there is a small town nearby. having roughly estimated the route, I decided to offer my teammates to stay there. There is a city 3 hours away, I don't remember the name, but there is everything we need there. Jiraiya and I stayed there, so I remember that there is a hotel and a clinic there. I suggest we head there, do you all agree? The answer was nods. Then 5 minutes to pack and move out, my clones will carry Sakura. I will go ahead. Firstly, I know the route, and I will also be able to scan the environment. You protect clones and Sakura. Naruto, what are you commanding here? Not really, a voice cut through. Sasuke looked at me in bewilderment. It seems that Itachi is the commander. Don't take on a lot of idiots. Sasuke, cool down, he's right about everything, and his idea. The eldest of the Uchi besieged her sister. We're going, guys. The 5 minutes that were allotted for the training camp had passed and we were ready to go. Deftly jumping up a tree, I hurried to my destination. The team did not lag behind, but remembering my request, they ran behind. Of course, I'm not a very good sensor, but even with this level, I could track the situation in the surrounding space. Except for us, I didn't detect a single center of the chakra, which means the enemies are either skillfully hiding, or they simply don't exist. I was hoping for the second option, because now the battle is not desirable. I looked back and saw that Sasuke and Itachi were discussing something. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear them. One of the clones was carrying Sakura, the second, along with Hana and her Ninken, were closing our formation. In less than 3 hours we reached this very town. Approaching the gate, Itachi approached the gatekeepers and began to settle issues related to our stay in the city. After a while we were allowed to enter and we were able to enter. The city was much smaller than the same Tanzak, although on the other hand it was not surprising. It was not a shopping center, there were almost no entertainment establishments in it, an ordinary, unremarkable town, but it was quite beautiful. First of all, I sent a clone with Sakura to the hospital, because our Pinky could throw off her hooves, although Itachi said that she was in no danger and the critical period had passed. The girls and I, in turn, went to check into a motel, although the place we came to was more like a hostel, small, but to everyone's delight quite cozy and equipped with all the benefits of civilization. Finally we will be able to take a normal shower and sleep heartily. We ordered 3 rooms, 1 double for the Uchiha sisters, 1 for Inazuki, 1 for me. In general, I was already dreaming about my trip to the shower and meeting with a pillow, when I was rudely interrupted. Naruto, stay late, we need to talk. Itachi stopped me. I'll see you in 5 minutes at the cafe across from the motel. I just nodded in agreement to her remark and went to my room. I wanted to leave my few belongings and just change clothes. Having found the room I needed and changed my clothes, I went to a meeting with Uchiha. I feel that I am waiting for an interrogation with a passion. After leaving the motel, I went to the cafe with the sonorous name, White Lotus. Personally it seemed to me that the name was slightly pretentious. Entering the cafe, a waiter appeared in front of me and asked if anyone was waiting for me, to which I nodded towards Uchiha and went to the table. While I was walking to the table where the eldest of the Uchiha was sitting, I examined the room. I must say that it was much less pretentious than the name. Time-worn tables, mahogany columns with peeling paint, the bar counter apparently experienced one of the shinobi techniques, and in general the appearance of the room left much to be desired. When I got to the table, I sat down on a chair and leaned back, as if hinting that I didn't care about the conversation at all, but in fact I was afraid. Itachi-chan, here I am, so what did you want to talk about? I said in an extremely calm voice, but she wouldn't be a genius of the clan if I couldn't smell my nervousness. Naruto, don't be nervous, I just want to ask a couple of questions about your changes. Besides, I promise that everything you tell me will remain between us. After all, she made it clear that she would not leave without answers to her questions, which means she would have to choose her words carefully. So, I wanted to know, where did you get such a level of mastery of the wind element? The techniques were very strong. Even though you were trained by one of the Sanins, I know that Jiraiya-sama does not possess the wind technique, which means he could not teach. Okay, I'll tell you. I decided that by answering this question, I would tell the truth. It was during my second year on a trip. One day a pervert left for a month citing personal matters and I had to train on my own, but I didn't want to train Rasengan and so on, I wanted to master the elements. Flashback. Damn, this pervert took off, what am I supposed to do? It's good that we stayed in the city, he paid for a hotel room, even though it pleases. But I need to train, I need to come up with a technique and find out my element. I wonder if there are shops for shinobi here? This question seriously interested me. I really was eager to learn my element. Well, I have to leave the hotel and wander around the city, find such a store and buy something that will allow me to recognize my element. After leaving the hotel, I walked around the city for a long time in search of a store, but unfortunately, there was no such thing. The city was a tourist one, although shinobi stayed here, there were no specialized places for the sale of equipment and other things. Yes, it wasn't very cool. I was walking through the streets of the town and had already lost hope, but luck smiled on me in the face of one very beautiful kunoichi. Her name was Shizuka, she had amazing green eyes and a mind-blowing figure. Well, she was very temperamental, in general. We met already lying on the ground. Where are you going? Take off your eyes, brat. Of course I expected such a reaction, but what a brat. It was very rude. Get off me, you little bastard. It's not necessary to call names. In the end I didn't even have time to apologize. So I'm sorry I hit you and I'm really sorry, I was just thinking. But for the future, don't you dare defame me, otherwise I'll kill you. I helped her up and judging by her surprised face, she was impressed by my tirade. In order to consolidate the success, I continued. Okay, I was joking about killing, but I will definitely cripple you, despite the fact that you are a girl, and a very beautiful girl. Okay, you're forgiven. Apparently, she was embarrassed by a small compliment, her flushed face spoke about it. What are you thinking about, since you can't even see where you're going? And by the way, are you a shinobi leaf? Quite a logical question. I was thinking about where I would find a shop for shinobi. I need to buy something. I don't know why it seemed to me that she was interested in me. Well, if so, I'm not going to miss my chance. I want to know my chakra element and, yes, I am a shinobi. Weakling, you don't even know your element, and also shinobi. Apparently she has already forgotten about my threat. Well, what can you do? It's a girl's memory. She wanted to continue her ridicule, but she was not allowed by the clones that I created without folding seals. What are you doing? Let go immediately. You probably forgot, but I warned you a minute earlier that I hate insults and ridicule in my address, so now I will punish you. I ordered the clones to grab her tighter, but she turned out to be not a fool. Futon, carnation-style solid fist of the storm, she turned around and smacked my clones with some kind of technique. Apparently she released the wind chakra for the blow. Not a weak technique. Well, let's play, baby. I jumped back a few meters and got ready to fight. I'm not going to lose, and after I win, I'll play enough with this brazen woman. Clones are created, which means you can start an attack. I sent them into battle, they all ran to this kunoichi, and in response, as always, a setup. Futon, a raging hurricane. Again the release of the wind, but this time much stronger. My clones were instantly blown away. Well, who promised to hurt me there? And the idiot? This is just the beginning, baby. And this infection knows how to provoke. Now you will see my strength. By the way, I have long known my father's technique, Flight of the Thunder God, and at the moment when my clones held it, they managed to put a Hirashina mark on it, which means I can get close to it. Ninpo, Flight of the Thunder God. She didn't even realize what had happened, but I was already behind her and put a kunai to her neck. Well, dear, it's time to go to bed. With these words, I struck her on the back of the head with the kunai ring. She passed out. After sealing this girl in a scroll, I decided to head to the hotel and have fun there properly. The road to the hotel was short, maybe 10 minutes. When I entered the hotel, I greeted the receptionist and went to my room. After opening the door and taking off my shoes, I decided that it was necessary to install barriers, one of which would not allow her to leave, and the other soundproof. After folding the seals and installing barriers, I printed out the scroll and tied her up, after which I brought her to consciousness. Where am I? What's going on here? Untie me quickly. Yes, girls know how to scream. It's not for nothing that the barrier was installed, otherwise all the guests would have run to the scream. You won't get away with this. As soon as I'm free, I swear I'll kill you. Yes, yes, how many times have I already heard such threats, but as you can see, I'm still alive. With these words, I lightly stroked her neck and unbuttoned her vest. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Do you want to rape me? Her voice was trembling, she was afraid. God, how I love it when people are afraid of me. That made me even more turned on. Please don't, it's too late. I crumpled her breasts and began to massage. Judging by her hoarse breathing, she began to get excited. Taking out a kunai, I cut her jacket and her breasts appeared in all their glory in front of me, no less than the third size. By the way, she did not wear a bra. Cute. Don't resist and have fun. I kissed her, but the kiss was rough and domineering. Apparently it turned her on, and she began to answer me. After a few minutes we broke away from each other, and I decided to untie her, because I knew that she would not run away. She was excited and wanted me no less than I wanted her. Now I will untie you, but do not do what you will regret later, just surrender to the mercy of the winner. You know, I've always been looking for a strong guy who could suppress me, who would take advantage of me, and I found him, so I'm not running away. What's your name? Her voice was filled with resignation, and her eyes said that she was completely mine. That Naruto Uzumaki. And you? Shizuka. My name is Shizuka, and now untie me and as you please. I cut the ropes with a kunai and kissed her lips again. She wrapped her arms around my neck, and we moved to the bed, undressing along the way. After the last elements of clothing were torn off, I clamped both her hands with one hand, and with the other I began to caress her pussy, massaging her clitoris and sometimes with my fingers entering her a cave. Every minute she moaned louder, and her breathing became more rapid. She was at her peak. I stopped caressing her, to which she sighed indignantly that, stop playing with me and the lady's wish is the law. End flashback. Well, so, Itachi, I found myself another sensei who helped me determine the element of the chakra and taught me the techniques that you saw. What a detailed explanation. What kind of sensei? Of course, I didn't tell Uchiha about what happened between me and Shizuka. I just wanted to remember about my magical training with her. Well, Naruto, I ask again, what kind of sensei? Uchiha asked with displeasure. I'm waiting for an answer. To Itachi, don't dwell on it, but if you're interested, her name was Shizuka. She is a very strong kunoichi who helped me master the element of wind. I think this answer will suit her. I'm sorry Itachi-chan, but I can't tell you more. I promised her. After all, I keep my promises, so don't even ask that. Okay, so what did you learn from her, besides the element of wind? The eyes of the eldest of the Uchiha were sparkling with laughter. Apparently it was clear from my face that in addition to the element of wind, I was trained in the element of lemon. That, well, she also taught me a special style of taijutsu. Well, it's almost true, taijutsu hardens the body, so we tempered it. Yeah. He's very special, and therefore secret. I can't talk about him. Someday you'll see for yourself, I promise. Wow, she'll see it. I'll teach her the style. Okay, that's settled. Then tell me about your skills. What can you do now? Well, all right. Listen. I took a deep breath and prepared to tell. Flashback. After such a hot night, my whole body ached, but thanks to Kurama, thanks to him I recover quickly. By the way, Kurama is my personal biju, a kind of pet animal. Oops, he was offended, but it doesn't matter, he will forgive. Getting out of bed, I decided to go to the shower. I still needed to freshen up before training with this hot thing. After taking a shower and performing all the necessary procedures, I got dressed and went to the south gate. I didn't want to have breakfast. I think the workout will be hard, so it's better to postpone the meal. When I reached the gate, I asked the sentries where this clearing was, and after receiving a detailed description of the route, I moved out. As she said, 15 minutes later, I was already in the clearing, and there she was waiting for me, Shizuka. This time she wore short shorts and a top. Sexy. My dear, don't you want to disrupt the training with your outfit? Raising an eyebrow, I asked her a question. What are you talking about? I had no idea. It's just more convenient for me, you know, the body breathes. A sly bitch, she also smiles so insidiously. Okay, let's get started. Still, it was more interesting for me to find out my element than, fuck it or not, I have to focus. Okay, look, these chakra conducting sheets will help determine your element. You have to put your chakra into these sheets. If the leaf burns, then your element is fire. If it is rarefied, air, crumbles, earth, gets wet, water, crumples, lightning. Understood? I nodded and took 3 sheets from her hands. Well, what's going on? I clamped the sheets between my thumb and index finger, index and middle and ring fingers, let the chakra run over them and then opanki. Listen, what if one leaf crumbled into half and was cut? I do not know, but probably you have a Kekiigenkai or the ability to use a mixed element. Apparently, you have a Jiten, a mixture of futon and doton. You have 4 elements, the remaining 2 leaves, one burned, the other crumpled, and Kato, with Raiden. And you're strong. Apparently she was surprised, however, as was I. As far as I know, the Jiten used the 3rd and 4th Kazekage? So why do I have it? I was puzzled and I wondered why I could use this very Jiten. I do not know, but apparently you have inherited a predisposition to the elements from your parents. It is quite logical, but neither my father nor my mother own the earth element. Okay, since I have a futon, and you have one, then please teach me the techniques. It was very important for me to learn the elements in order to become stronger. Okay, I'll teach you 2 wind techniques, dance, step 2, and raging hurricane. These 2 techniques are very strong, both for medium and long distance. One allows you to throw kunai with high accuracy and in large quantities, and the other allows you to release a stream of wind that can demolish everything in its path. Well, almost everything. Okay, Shizuka-sensei, teach me, and then I'll reward you. Wow, if she teaches me, then I will reward her so much that she won't be able to walk. Look, so you jump, release the futon chakra and charge it with kunai, then create shadow copies of them, while rotating strongly. A wind-charged weapon can cut and pierce anything, and a strong rotation will allow you to throw kunai with much greater force. Look! Futon, dance, step 2. Fuck you. The technique inspires, it just turned the tree into a sieve. Well, how do you like Blondie? Impressive. So, I jump, charge the kunai with the wind chakra and rotate, while creating copies of the kunai. It means a combined technique. It carries the element and the technique of shadow cloning of shurikens, kunais. Let's try. So, I did everything exactly like her. Go ahead. Futon, dance, step 2. Fuck, it will be a little weak. Some of the kunai have passed by, but the strength is not very impressive. Nothing, Naruto, it never works the first time. She comforted me. Try again, okay. I concentrated again and did everything the right way. Futon, dance, step 2. Wow, it turned out much better, even better than Shizuki's. You're doing great. Consolidate the success. I repeated the technique again, and she continued. And now let's move on to the second technique. You know, dear, either I'm a good teacher, or you're an excellent student, but you grasp on the fly. My miracle, I think we're both gorgeous. With these words, I pulled her and kissed her, while with my hand I began to caress her vagina through her shorts. Not now, later, we'll frolic with you, and now the second technique. The tempter. Okay, let's continue. She was obviously unhappy that I did not continue the caresses. Concentrate the wind chakra in the area of the respiratory tract, and then blow out. Futon, a raging hurricane. Wow, a notable hurricane came out. The technique that she showed during our first meeting was weaker, which means she did not hit at full strength. The equipment demolished the forest by 100 meters, impressively. Cool, isn't it? She gave me a big smile, to which I sent her a reply. Try it, I think you can create a hurricane stronger than mine. I'll do what I can. I really want to master this technique, I will do my best. Naruto, I'm leaving you a scroll with techniques, I have to run, they're calling. You'll reward me another time. She suddenly disappeared, and there was a scroll in the place where she was standing. Thank you, I promise that you will not be disappointed in me. I applied the technique that she showed and she succeeded. From the first time, I did it, weaker than her, but still. Having picked up the scroll from the ground, I decided to finish my training and go for a snack, especially since the sun was burning mercilessly. Returning to the city through the same gate, I started looking for a diner where I could have a good snack. By the way, the town was quite pleasant to look at, well-groomed streets, beautiful buildings, lush green trees, flowers grew at each house, which apparently the residents planted themselves, birds chirped around, and the townspeople went about their business. Here are children playing, here are people hurrying about their business. In short, despite the fuss, I really liked the city. After admiring enough of the local beauties, I finally found a cafe. Entering it, I heard a scream. Hey, brother, bring more dango, and more. I was stunned. There was that pervert from the Chunin exam in this city, I must say sexy, but a voracious pervert. I was stunned by the number of dango sticks that were on the platter. I decided to approach her. Mitarashi Enko-san, right? I decided to be polite, otherwise you can expect anything from this jonin. Can I sit down? Naruto Uzumaki, if you remember me, of course. How can I not remember you? You're the brave, arrogant kid who was on the exam. Sit down, I'm buying. Do you like dango? I could only nod. Because of her love for dango, those who did not love him should have waited for an early reprisal. You know, of course I'm arrogant and stuff, but I don't want to mess with this one, it's too dangerous. How did you get there? A mission? I decided to ask a question, because it's really strange that we crossed paths here. Yes, our Hokage entrusted me with a mission. I can't tell you about its essence, secrecy. Judging by her face, she was unhappy with the mission. Well, what have you lost here? I was about to answer, but we were interrupted. Here's your dango, and you young man, what will you order? The waitress was quite nice and pretty, so I decided that it would not be superfluous to approach her, especially considering that I will be stuck in this city for a long time. Yes, dear, could you bring a portion of dango and, perhaps, pork ramen? By the way, I flirted with her brazenly, smiled charmingly, and so on. Wait, I think I've seen her somewhere. She has red hair, brown eyes, and a beanie. Who the hell is she? I definitely saw her. Of course, wait, the order will be ready in 5 minutes. I bet she recognized me too. Her strange smile, which was more like a mockery, said that. What kid decided to find a girl? Enko, as always, was rude and did not observe decency. She's good, but I'm better. Licking her lips, she said. Oh, I don't doubt it, Enko-san, you're better, although I haven't checked, I might be wrong. I'm playing with fire, but it's worth it. I didn't even notice how the order was brought to us. This red-haired girl, I definitely know her, but all thoughts about her were displaced by the smell of ramen, divine and unique. My mother is Kushina, how I love ramen, itatkamas. Having said the traditional word and having separated the sticks, I began to tremble. Ramen is delicious, do you want enko-chan? Why not? With these words, this minx got up and came to me, sitting on my sofa. She bit into me with a kiss, while trying to snatch some of the pasta that was in my mouth. Well, Naru, share it with me. Fuck you, not ramen. I broke the kiss and swallowed the ramen. Even though I offered her to taste it, but I didn't say that it should be eaten from my mouth. She wants to, let her order it herself, that bitch. Oh, that's how you are. Well, we'll play with you again, everything is ahead. She put her hand in my pants, forcing me to choke with her actions. Well, hold on. A moment and I leave the money for the order, another moment and we are already in the room, kissing selflessly. Hiration is the head of everything. Maybe Mitarashi can be used, not only sexually, but maybe she will teach me something. End flashback. Well, so, Itachi-chan, Shizuka taught me a couple of techniques, and then left a scroll with techniques of the wind element and left. Apparently she had things to do. That's it, I have only one element. It's too early to say that I have 4 of them. For the fact that I learned to use it at a high level. Okay, I convinced you. And what happened next? You've learned something else, haven't you? Itachi was dissatisfied with my answer again. Yes, I met Enko-san, she taught me a couple of techniques, and also told me how to counteract the call of snakes, because I have toads. Well, a little more half-truth wouldn't hurt. Tell me what you learned from Enko. Itachi was annoyed. The elite kunoichi was beside herself with anger, because some genin was fooling her. Well, we trained with her for a week. You're having a good time, Enko-chan. Naruto, coming. Apparently from the piquancy of the situation and from my unexpected appearance, Mitarashi came faster. You need to knock. She muttered. Well, I'm sorry, there's good sound insulation, so I didn't hear your lustful moans. I grinned. You're such a bitch, and in general, judging by your character, you should have signed a contract with rabbits, not snakes. Because you're like a crow. She didn't let me finish, throwing a heavy piece of soap at my head, but I wouldn't be a shinobi if I couldn't dodge. Be careful with the words, kid, otherwise next time it will be kunai. Besides, you disappointed me. I didn't get the daily rate of orgasms, because someone was not hardy enough. Wow, a stone in my garden, it's a shame. You still owe me, so don't count on a reward from my side. Oh, look how important the chicken is. You fuck her, you try, and she won't give me a reward, you see. I was genuinely outraged by her words, as I believed that the 8 mother of their orgasms should be rewarded. Enko-chan, a day's training is enough for me. Teach me some jutsu, please. I will not remain in debt and you will remember our next night rendezvous for the rest of your life. Okay, I persuaded Uzumaki, and now get in the shower and I'll help you wash up, but promise that you won't harass. Who else will harass whom? I muttered and climbed into the shower stall. It hurts Naru Jr., look how wonderful he is, how smooth, and how delicious. The last words were accompanied by a kiss from Naru Jr., as she called him. You don't even react, but nothing mommy will help you, lift you up, make you grow up. And you say you won't harass, you see you've soiled me. Saying these words, I was simply amazed at the innocence and modesty that was in it. I completely do not understand the changes in her mood, then a lioness, then a cute bunny. Oh, my God, these women. Now we need to wash Naruto-kun. Yes, you're right, and then let's have breakfast and go to the clearing to train. Okay, but you're not buying. I was confronted with the fact, I had to accept it, because training and a beautiful girl are much more important than money. Having finished with the shower, we left the bathroom and started to get dressed. Having finished with that, we went down to the dining room at the hotel and ordered a portion of scrambled eggs, a cup of coffee, and of course dessert. Her favorite dango's breakfast is eaten, money is spent, bellies are full, the minimum plan is fulfilled. After leaving the hotel building, we walked slowly towards the clearing where we trained with Shizuka. By the way, this clearing was very similar to a training ground at Anko-chan, so what are we going to do? I decided not to pull the bull by the horns and got down to the main thing. Do you already know your chakra element? What is it? She asked. I think that this is almost the most important thing in the learning process. That, yes, I know, you'll be surprised. After a theatrical pause, I continued. I have a futon, a doton, a katon, a riton, well, a mixture of two elements, namely a futon and a doton, which are transformed into a jiton. That, not weak, but you are full of surprises, mustache. It was the first time she called me that, but I immediately realized that it sounded cute. Even for an elite Hunin, such a set of elements is very rare. Unfortunately, I have only one element, the element of fire. I will teach you the basic techniques of the element of fire. I nodded and continued listening to my new sensei. Of course I was disappointed that she only had Kato, but even so she was an extremely strong kunoichi. Based on what I know, I can say that her abilities were based on summoning and using snakes in every possible way. I think it's worth starting with the theory. As you know, everyone has a predisposition to a certain element. Given what you know about your elements, I think you are aware of how to determine them. Therefore, I will tell only what concerns Kato. Kato is one of the basic properties of the chakra. This property is based on manipulations with fire. In order to perform the fire element technique, it is necessary to turn the chakra in the lungs and respiratory tract into fire, give shape and exhale. In addition, the element of fire can be used with the help of various objects or substances, for example, explosive seals, gunpowder, ashes, blades, oil and the like. Kato is most often used at medium and long distances. Wait, how can Kato be used, for example, with gunpowder? While she was taking a breath, I decided to ask a question. I was really interested. I don't remember any examples with gunpowder, but I can cite ashes as an example. Sarutobi Asuma uses the technique, Kato, burning ash cloud. Its essence lies in the fact that the user releases a cloud of ash from his mouth, and then ignites it, which allows you to create a fairly powerful explosion. Understood? I nodded. It is worth admitting that she knows the theory perfectly. Well, I think you've understood the basics, and now we'll learn the fireball technique. I think it's worth demonstrating. Having folded the necessary seals, Anko took a deep breath in her chest and after a moment blew out a huge fireball. She really knows the techniques of this element quite well, judging by the ball. Then she has a lot of chakras. This is a C-rank ninjutsu, one of the simplest techniques. The power depends on the amount of chakra spent on the technique. As I already said, you concentrate the chakra in the lungs and respiratory tract, and then you release it. Memorize the seals. Having shown the necessary seals, she referred to business and left, not forgetting to give me a kiss goodbye. The technique was good, and considering that the Uchiha know her from a young age, it became a shame. My father did not teach me techniques, he had too little time. I do not blame him, but I am too weak. Only thanks to my mother I am something of myself. She led the training process, which was aimed at physical and mental development, so at 14 I look 18. I decided to start with working out the seals. I wanted to bring the actions to automatism. I spent about an hour on this, then I started working out the technique itself. It turned out for me from the 30th time, very well. The ball came out big, but thanks to the chakra of the Uzumaki clan and the chakra of the nine-tailed for me, the chakra spent on this ball is a drop in the sea. After 3 hours of training, I decided to refresh myself, restore my strength. Since my mother taught me how to seal things and make simple scrolls, so food was always at hand. Having printed out the food, I was about to eat, when I was brazenly interrupted, or rather put a kunai to my throat. I heard a woman's voice that, "Well, you bastard, do you remember me? How long I've been waiting for revenge. She grins at Pakura. I was unpleasantly surprised to see this kunoichi. No, she is beautiful and ada, but there were a lot of problems from her. Firstly, the element of heat. Secondly, she was damn dangerous and strong even without her. The memories of our stormy fun caught up with a herd of goosebumps on me. I did find out, handsome, you patted me then. Judging by her smirk and the cut on my neck, she was serious. Who knew that a case 2 years ago would bring such a paragraph? Flashback. This was our first serious mission. Its essence was to be accompanied by one person, although he was a man then with a stretch, so a drunkard. His name was Tazuna and he was a bridge builder. Hokage-sama's mission to capture the daimyo's wife's cat is completed. Successfully. Kakashi-sensei squinted at me and my scratches that this asshole left. I swear, this cat is a fiend. They came with a report and a request for a new mission. My god, Naruto, where did you manage to do this? The missions were issued by the old man the third, and my father was engaged in other matters. Taking a drag and exhaling smoke, the old man continued. Well, you need to sit with the grandson of an important official, and then weeding the garden. Remember, I was talking about my image of an idiot, so I decided not to leave him and say what hurt. Well, the truth is missions like weeding the garden, give us a serious mission, old man. I was on a roll. Remember the meme about the dude with a pumpkin on his head, who said, "Nohoya," and at the same time made cool movements with his hands, so it looked much better in my performance. It was so cool and epic that I imagined myself the king of the fucking mountain. I'll get into the ANBU order. I have the same mask as the boy from the memes, but Sensei and his companions, well, and the Hokage, of course, were not impressed, and therefore I received a noble slap on the back of the head from Hitaki. I will still remember him. Naruto, you can't talk like that to the ruler of our village, even with the former. He is a very respected and high-ranking shinobi, so show respect. Sensei, Hokage-sama, Naruto is right, we are no longer children and we want a serious mission. I am the best student of the academy, Naruto is the son of Hokage, Sakura is talented in chakra control, let us complete a serious mission. I was in A, the whole team was in A, Hokage was in A, Sasuke, who did not say anything longer than her crown, gave such a tirade, so I naturally fell silent and continued to talk to, Sasuke-chan, you're probably right, I'll give you such a mission. It is worth admitting the old man the third quickly coped with surprise and continued the dialogue. Its essence is to accompany a very important person, his name is Tazuna, he is a bridge builder and he needs to be escorted to the land of waves, and then stay with him until the completion of construction. The rank of the mission is S. I think this is a good start for you. I couldn't shout or anything else, as I was still impressed by Sasuke's tirade, so I nodded stupidly. Since you agree, I'll ask the assistants to invite Tazuna-san. With these words, the shinobi bodyguard of the third went out the door, and 30 seconds later he returned with a man who smelled sake. Will these Neto shinobi protect me? Is there no one better? Of course, I wanted to say something in my defense, but Haruno turned on the pink Hulk mode. I wanted to escape from her aura, so she was angry. How dare you? We will protect you, and you showed disrespect, but I will smear you on the wall myself. Yes, my favorite pink was amazing. What ill-mannered children went. Tazuna hiccuped, drank sake straight from his throat and left, throwing in the last phrase that we leave tomorrow at 6 in the morning from the main gate. Silence reigned in the office, from Sasuke's tirade, from the smell coming from Tazuna, or from what the right Sakura said, or from the fact that I didn't say anything, or from everything together. No one knows what, however, it doesn't matter. In general we were silent for a short time. Our sensei broke the silence, saying that the customer is always right and we move out tomorrow at the specified time, and then just disappeared. Yuck, took and disappeared. Pf. Such a sound was made by Sasuke when she went out the door. Sakura hurried after her, and I stayed in the office where the missions are distributed. What do you think, Hokage-sama? I asked. After all, only the third old man knew about my true identity as a far from stupid kid. He trained me for a while in secret from everyone, even from my mother and father. Would not say that he taught me a lot, but thanks to him I was able to develop myself a little. In particular, thanks to him I mastered the techniques of shadow cloning and shuriken shadow cloning technique. Naruto. There may be complications on this mission, be careful and be vigilant, in which case send a request, we will send another command. The third one has always been kind to me. I can say that for me he was a real grandfather. Take care of yourself. Frida, there is. I nodded and left. When we were alone I was always serious. When I got home, I saw the usual picture. My mother was in the kitchen, my father was not there, he was at work as always. Sadly. Mom, I'm home, I said, entering the kitchen and sitting down at the table. Welcome back, how was your day? What is it? She asked, finishing cooking dinner. Kakashi said that you have your first mission outside the village tomorrow. She smiled at the corners of her lips. Yes, escorts. A drunken bridge builder needs bodyguards. I grimaced. After all, based on the words of the third, the rank of the mission is clearly underestimated, but nothing can be done, it must be done. I'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, take care of yourself, son. With these words, Mom put a whole plate of curry in front of me. I don't really like something that isn't called ramen, but Mom's food was amazing. After eating quickly and wishing her good night, I went to bed. Tomorrow is my first mission outside the village. I need to rest. Waking up and getting out of bed, I looked out the window. The pre-dawn Konoha is very beautiful. Only for this view it is worth loving this village. The sky was covered with rare clouds, which were a little orange because of the sun, which barely appeared, but a flock of birds flew by, announcing Konoha with their singing. They seemed to say that here it was, a new day had come. On the ground at each house there were pots with various flowers. Their smell was felt everywhere, so a light breeze blew through the window, cheering me up a little. Lowering my gaze to the road, I saw that merchants slowly began to come out and open their shops. Life began to boil. Konoha is a unique village. When I finished admiring the village, I quickly washed up, packed my things and jumped out of the window. I don't know why, but I like to go in and out through the windows more. It was already 10 minutes to 6 on the clock, so it means to leave the village soon. 5 minutes before the appointed time I ran to the gate. Sakura and Sasuke were already there, greeting both with deafening shouts, and seeing their wrinkled faces, I realized that the morning had succeeded. Why? It's simple. I supported the mask of an idiot, and at the same time ruined the morning for 2 cute kunoichi. As they say, I did a nasty thing, a joy to the heart. However, I changed my mind about a good morning. I saw a Tazuna swaying from side to side. I had too much sake with an old man. Karma mother. I ruined the morning for the girls. Tazuna ruined the morning for me. Good morning, Tazuna-san. The girls greeted him, but I limited myself to a simple nod. However, like him, it remains to wait for Kakashi-sensei and you can move out. In less than a minute, our would-be latecomer deigned to honor our humble persons with his presence. With a regal gesture ordered his servants to follow him. Not forgetting to shout for form's sake that we were moving out, I walked into unknown distances with a sense of accomplishment. It took 2 or 3 days to go from Konoha to the land of waves. In general, we can say that by shinobi standards the path is not so long, but still these very 2 or 3 days I can do what I love, namely harass Krasnoglaska and Rozovlaska. Sakura's voice distracted me from my thoughts in the most brazen way. Judging because I caught it, she asked Hataki about the geography of the shinobi world, about the structure and ranks of the ninja. Sensei spoke with ecstasy. He apparently liked how young minds looked into his mouth. Figuratively speaking, since the mouth was not visible our continent consists of 5 countries, each of which has its own great ninja village. For example, the country of fire, Konoha, the country of wind, Suna, the country of earth, Willow, the country of water, Kiri and the country of lightning, Kumo. Each village differs both in geographical, climatic characteristics, and landscape. By the way, in addition to these countries and villages, there are a number of smaller countries that also have a military apparatus called a shinobi village. But back to the great villages, Suna is surrounded by an endless desert, the climate there is hot, dry. Konoha is located in the heart of a majestic forest, the climate can be called moderate. Kiri is shrouded in fog, there is very high humidity and quite low temperature. Kumo is located among high mountains and really hidden somewhere in the clouds. Willow is located among rocks, and protection is provided by high mountain ranges, as such there is almost no vegetation. It is worth admitting that Kakashi is a wonderful speaker, although it sounds funny. Apparently reading his porn novels he enriched his vocabulary quite well. His story was not like a lecture at the academy, he described the villages quite colorfully. While I was mentally singing odes in his honor, he had already moved on to the story about the ranks of the ninjas. Although we passed this material at the academy, I was surprised to learn that in Kumo there is a title of Shinobi Gashira, which means Chief Ninja, and he stands in the hierarchy higher than ordinary and special hunins. There is a similar position in Konoha, but it is called Hunin Honcho. From the words of Hataki I learned that it is occupied by the head of the Nara, Shikaku clan. There are no such titles officially in other villages. Despite the fascinating story, I still did not forget to closely monitor the surroundings, and looking around the area, I saw a puddle on the road. It was strange, there had been no rain for a long time. Judging by the expression on Sensei's face, he thought the same thing, but we did not have time to coordinate actions, as two people jumped out of the puddle. One used a technique unknown to me, water, but it was impressive. In a short moment he created a spear out of water and pierced Kakashi. With it, he probably thought that Hataki was finished, but he was mistaken. Sensei used the replacement technique. A log appeared instead of him, which was pierced. Sensei looked at the second one and told him to take care of him, and he decided to do what he used, the water technique. The three of us took a defensive position. It was dangerous to get into trouble without knowing the abilities of the enemy. We formed a triangle in the center of which was a Tazuna, a very convenient formation. The customer was reliably protected, probably. Quickly taking out the kunai, each of us took a defensive stance. At brats, give us the bridge builder and maybe you'll stay alive. Bitch, that's how I am. I don't like nasty giggling villains, it really pisses me off. Shut the bastard up, you won't get a customer, and you won't leave alive yourself. The girls stared at me in surprise, as they had never heard such words from me before, and the tone in which these words were said was quite menacing. Okay, we'll figure it out later. Sasuke, Sakura, guard the customer. With these words, I applied the shadow cloning technique, creating 6 clones. I left 1 clone with them so that the triangle would not disintegrate, and 5 clones, and I ran to the enemy, surrounding him from all sides. I wanted to use one of the techniques, Uzumaki Naruto Rendan, but I didn't have time. I was arrogant. This shinobi used the water whip technique and all the clones scattered. I was thrown back a couple of meters, but I saw that the smoke from the scattered clones remained, and my opponent was in this smoke screen. I decided not to hesitate and quickly threw a kunai with an explosive tag into a cloud of smoke. A cry of pain alerted me that my idea had worked and the enemy had simply underestimated me. As soon as the smoke screen disappeared, I saw my opponent. He was unconscious, pain shock due to a torn leg. He was bleeding. I think Sensei will take the tongue, and this can be spent. It's still dangerous to leave the enemy alive. Quickly running up to him, I took out a kunai and cut the throat of this shinobi. My first murder. It's strange, should feel horror, experience pain, but my emotional state remained the same as it was, which cannot be said about the girls and the customer. Tazuna turned green, Sakura began to vomit, but Sasuke behaved with dignity, although it was obvious from her face that she was shocked. Well done, Naruto, you did everything right, and you acted the best, though presumptuously. I hope you won't make mistakes anymore, since we shinobi have no right to make mistakes. And you girls, although you guarded Tazuna-san, did not act confidently. Sakura, Sasuke, shinobi should be able to kill, and if you do not agree, then you have no place in the ranks of the ninja. A serious rebuke from Kakashi helped the girls recover at least a little. So, I found out from one of the attackers the purpose of their mission. Names. Their names are Kirisame and Murasame. They are renegades from the village of Rain. Their goal was to kill Tazuna-san. In addition, he said that Gato hired others. They will soon make themselves felt, and I feel that they will be much more stronger than these. Tazuna-san, don't you want to tell me anything? PPP, forgive me, our country is poor, we didn't have the money to pay for the mission according to the rank, so I had to lie that it was just an escort mission. He wiped away a tear. Well, actor, I clapped standing up. I understand if you refuse, but my daughter and grandson are waiting for me at home. How can they be without me? People are waiting for me who believe that I will give them hope for a better life. It seems they will hate Shinobi now. Stop. We will now consult with the team and decide what to do. Sensei called us over and asked us what we thought about this situation. I decided not to delay and took the burden of leadership on myself. I think we need to continue the mission. The girls looked at me questioningly. Firstly, it will help to increase the reputation of the village and establish ties with the country of waves. If they build a bridge, they will become good economic partners. Secondly, even though experienced and strong ninjas are hunting for Tazuna-san, it won't hurt us to test ourselves in real combat. Thirdly, if we refuse, we will no longer be entrusted with serious missions, and if we complete this one, then in addition to an increased salary and an increased rank, we will gain a reputation for ourselves as a team that has every chance of becoming the best team of genins. They obviously didn't expect such a long tirade from the stupid Naruto. Damn it. Oh fuck, they fell into the precipitate, so Naruto think how to get out of awkward questions, came up with. Well, of course I didn't come up with it myself. Before the mission we talked with my father, he explained to me what the importance of the mission is. Well, he told me about the pros and cons. Of course, he didn't know that we would be attacked, but he is a Hokage, a brilliant strategist, so he thought everything through in advance. Here. Idiot, of course I knew that you yourself are not capable of anything, your father is always thinking for you. Sasuke is in his repertoire as always. I just smiled, scratched my head, she chuckled and turned away. Well, Naruto is right, so we will continue the missions. When he saw the approving nods from Uchiha and Haruno, he squinted rather, and then rewarded me with a very strange look. I feel that Hatake did not believe in the fairy tale that my father laid everything out for me on a platter. For sure later I will be interrogated with partiality. I think Minato-sama is right, so I will send a request for reinforcements to the village. We need a medic, my former partner is perfect for this role. After these words, Kakashi began to carry out some manipulations. He bit his finger and hit the ground with his hand. There was a pop and a dog appeared. Yo, Kakashi, haven't called for a long time. The dog. He's talking. She's a talker. What the Naya? Hi boys, hey Kakashi, are these your students? Hi Pakin, yes, these are my students, but now there is no time to talk. Quickly scribbling something on 2 sheets, Kakashi handed it to this dog and said, "Deliver these letters to the 4th and Rin." The dog nodded in response and with incredible speed rushed towards the village. Kakashi-sensei, what was that? What kind of dog? How did it appear? What kind of technique? With the speed of an automaton, Sakura just dumped all these questions on Kakashi. I'll tell you everything on the way, and now let's go, Tazuna-san is waiting. We approached Tazuna, who was 10 meters away from us, so he could not hear what we were talking about. Tazuna-san, we agree to continue the mission. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you're still a miserable drunk. Damn, he annoys me. In my house you will always be welcome guests, and my daughter will set a chic table in your honor. Yeah, it's a poor country, a chic table. You also say that there will be a steak made of marble beef, and all sorts of truffles. I mentally continued to utter in the direction of Tazuna, his country, his home, and indeed everything, very caustic, sarcastic comments that were seasoned with cynicism and abundantly flavored with a sauce of bastardism, as well as not love for people. In general, I firmly decided that in the name of revenge and hatred for this old stump, I will get his daughter pregnant. I don't care that she is already with a child, there will be another one, hehehe, have I already said that I don't like giggling villains? So, this does not apply to my person, I can. We had been walking for more than 3 hours, there were no attacks. Kakashi was broadcasting about the benefits of the summoning technique, as well as about which ones she gives a lot of bonuses. No, I agree with him and I really want to master this technique. Finally, we reached the river, where we can make a halt, but our plans were upset by Sensei's scream. Everyone on the ground. Jounin commanded. If it hadn't been for Kakashi, we wouldn't have counted a couple of comrades and a customer, because at that moment a sword swept over Sakura, Sasuke, and Tazuna, who barely managed to fall face down. He crashed into a tree, and a shinobi who came to our souls jumped on him quite elegantly. Hey you, for now I'm asking you in a good way, give me the head of Tazuna and no one will get hurt. Somewhere I have already heard this. Oh yes, those two Neto shinobi threatened in the same way. Did they conspire or something? But why does his threat make it scary? Why do I think he can really put everyone here? Well, this is Hatake Kakashi, the famous copying ninja. Momochi Zabuza, the equally famous renegade Kiri, the demon of the hidden mist. Summed up our sensei. We won't give you the Tazuna, guys, don't interfere with anyone, this fight is mine. Yes, in general, I didn't really want to. He's yours, Captain. I went up to the Tazuna and just plopped down on the ground. Sorry there is no popcorn, would have enjoyed the spectacle. I patted the ground inviting the girls to sit down, they looked at me like an idiot and remained standing. Seriously, this is not our level, he is a hunin like sensei, he will smear us and not look at us. Hey, you're a smart kid, it's a pity that you're going to die today. Zabuza was obviously surprised, as were my teammates, because not every genin has an instinct for self-preservation. Zabuza, you were wrong about one thing. Nuke-nin raised an eyebrow questioningly. You're going to die today. Kami-sama, will this farce ever end? Seriously giving a fight. As if reading my thoughts, they rushed at each other with incredible speed. I didn't even see how Kakashi took out a kunai and blocked the blow of a huge sword. Yes, as a swordsman Zabuza is damn good, but sensei has an excellent reaction. If not for her, Hatake would have gone to a kebab. Here they jump away from each other and Momochi raises one hand up and folds the seal. Ninja art, hidden fog technique. The whole space was covered with an impenetrable and very dense fog. There was a thirst for blood in it, our blood. I immediately jumped up from the ground, took out the kunai and we again used the triangle to protect the client. Do you guys know how many ways and styles of murder there are? A lot, but my favorite is the silent killing style. His voice was everywhere, it penetrated into the most remote corners of the soul, fishing out fears from there. Suddenly, out of nowhere, he appeared behind our backs and was already ready to dismember Tazuna, but our sensei managed to protect all of us at the last moment. Kakashi, you're not bad. But now I'm going to play seriously. With these words, Momochi created 5 clones out of water. And 5 to 1, do you like it? Very much, however, and I have trumps. I'm not going to talk. Kakashi shifted the protector and revealed his famous Sharingan to the world, but from 3 tomos he immediately transformed into an intricate pattern similar to a shuriken. Kamui, Kakashi's attack immediately got the real Zabuza, depriving him of his arm to the elbow. Losing concentration, he could not hold the clones, and they scattered in splashes. Momochi clearly did not expect such an attack and therefore jumped back a good 10 meters. Judging because my partners and the customer did not show signs of life, I realized that they were so scared that they could not move. I decided to consolidate Sensei's success, as he was in no hurry to use this technique again. Shuriken Shadow Cloning Technique. I launched about 10 shurikens into Zabuza and folded the seal. Having absorbed a considerable amount of chakra, I increased their number almost 6 times. Zabuza's eyes widened in surprise, and I was ready to celebrate my first victory over such a strong opponent, but dreams don't always come true. The element of heat, the hand of death. Another actor appeared, judging because she protected Zabuza, she is his ally. All the thrown shurikens melted even before they reached the one that used the technique. Apparently the heat was damn strong. Hey, you demon, I see you're completely weakened, too. I'm a demon of the mist, almost died at the hands of Genin. She was clearly mocking Zabuza, humiliating him. By the way, the girl was very beautiful, but there is no time to describe her. I will only say that and fucking beautiful. You have already won back. Shut up, Pakura. I'm not done with them yet. I haven't won back yet. His attempt to move the stump was wrong, because judging by Sensei's technique, the hand stupidly tears off, tearing the chakra canals in his hand. Zabuza almost screamed in pain. But no, he won back. Take care of them. Fuck. This is the first time I've seen Sensei swear. We have huge problems. Pakura from the village of sand, her element is heat. She touches you with her balloon, and you are corpses. She will dry you up. Hataki informed us that, Sensei, we need to retreat, urgently, let's run. Sakura started to panic, so I just hammered Kunai's ring into the base of the back of her head, sending her into oblivion, well, or into the world of pink unicorns. It's safer this way, it's better to let it lie down. Kamui. We were set up for a battle, for a serious battle, but we were interrupted in the most brazen way. 2 people, Obito and Rin, came out of an incomprehensible funnel. Hey, Kakashi, I see you are actively using my gift? One of those who came to the rescue grinned, part of his face was disfigured. I knew him. Obito is my father's disciple, a frequent visitor to our estate. Rin was with him, also my father's disciple. Well, shall we reunite the team for a while? Didn't expect you so soon, especially you? Sensei said with relief in his voice. Zabuza is retreating, now we cannot cope with them. 2 Nukanons left with the help of Shunshin. Uncle Obito, what are you doing here? I was surprised, as I haven't seen him in the village often lately. Hi Aunt Rin. Hi Naruto, nice to see you. A girl with stripes on her cheeks greeted me. She wanted to say something else, but she was interrupted by Uchiha, who finally died. Uncle Obito? Thank Kami that it was you who came to the rescue. Sasuke gasped. Yes, it's very strange to see her scared. I was not far from the village when I saw Rin running to your aid. I decided to join her. The elder Uchiha spread his hands. As can be seen in time, even though you have ruffled Zabuza, you would not have coped with Kakashi's Pakura, especially after using Kamui. This devil is very strong. Kakashi just nodded and began to fall to the ground, but Obito picked him up, and Rin immediately started treatment. It was decided by a general vote to wait here for a few hours and recover a little, and then move towards Tazuna's house. 2 strong Jounins, what about them? The chances of not becoming quilted chimichangs are very high. I just rubbed the bridge of my nose and sat down on the grass. There will be a difficult mission ahead. Yes, memories of Pakura pleasantly warm the soul, in quotes. Of course, we scared them off that time, but not for long. They returned 2 weeks later. Momochi, although he lost his arm, but looked very intimidating. Then we decided to split up. Kakashi and I were against Pakura and received a notable heat from the owner of the element. Kakashi was the worst. Despite his abilities and the Sharingan given by Uncle Obito, he was badly battered. Shikuden no Pakura, as she was called in the shinobi world, she was damn strong, and just as damn sexy. In fairness, it should be noted that Obito, Rin and Sasuke with Sakura distracted Haku with Momochi, who deftly wielded a sword with one hand, and Yuki did not let him relax. Therefore, the 2 of us received serious damage, and Kakashi got stronger because I was only on the pickup, but in such a fight there was almost no sense from Genin, even if he was talented. Why almost? It's very simple. At one point I managed to hook her, and quite seriously. I repeat, it was an absolute accident and incredible luck, because thanks to this attack, she retreated. By then, Obito and Rin had dealt with Zabuza and his henchmen. Yes, it was an epic fight, instructive so to speak. It was then that I realized that I was not strong and that I needed to train harder. Now a lot has changed. I'm not that snotty genin anymore. I'm already old enough and experienced by shinobi standards. Besides, I've gained a lot in strength. I think there are chances that what a meeting, Pakura. I remember when you had one foot in the grave. Do you think you have a chance now? I was bluffing. I tried to make her lose her temper, because that's what it says in Hagakura. You need to get your opponent off balance and then you can take him warmed up. Don't get your hopes up, handsome. I know this tactic. By the way, I didn't come to fight. She paused for me to make sense of her words. I have a message for you from Kazekage. Since when has the apostate been running errands for the Kage, and why these loud words about revenge? I arched an eyebrow in surprise. In truth, there was more sarcasm than surprise that, with such, I was acquitted on all counts, and then I forgave Suna a long time ago. Now a wise and far-sighted ruler rules. She shrugged and continued. Kazekage-sama has an offer for you. It will interest you. Aha, is the one-tailed maniac wise and far-sighted? Made me laugh, thank you, joke of the year. Just walked in. It's really funny to me. I remember this guy. He was absolutely inadequate when we passed the Chunin exam. He was a killing machine. A lot of people died then. I can't believe in my life that this red-haired asshole has changed. Don't joke with me, Pakura. We both know that Gaara hasn't changed. He's the same maniac as before. Not at all. We found Uzumaki, who changed his seal. Well, if she is telling the truth and this Uzumaki really exists, then it is quite possible that the dog butt really became different. It's interesting to see a representative of my clan who is a renegade. Let's imagine that you're telling the truth and I believed you. What kind of offer? I was really interested in the identity of the clan member, and I was not interested in the Kazekage's offer, but only in this way, I will be able to find out who changed the seal. Such dangerous people should not be outside the clan. Read it. She threw me a scroll that had the seal of the Kage of Sand on it, so things were taking a bad turn. Usually such letters were sent to those who urgently wanted to see at the reception at the residence and who were personally invited by Kage. Having unfolded the scroll, I began to read the text carefully. My fears were justified. Gaara invited me to his place on a very important state matter. Read, you won't show up, and you're enemy number one. It would be fine if I was just invited as Naruto Uzumaki, but no, I was invited here as an ambassador from list. It is unlikely that the top of the village knows that I am now an ambassador in the sand without 5 minutes. There is no choice, you have to go, and the mission, the girls will cope with it on their own. Now there is interest in the proposal of Jinchuriki one-tailed. Well, lead me, oh my sweet green hair. I saw her blush cute. Just for the sake of it, it was worth agreeing. Shut up. Through her teeth, the still red lady of the element of heat muttered. The owner is a gentleman. Wait a second, I have to write a couple of words to my partners and to the village. Otherwise, if you don't do this, I will be a nuke neen, and this is for me. No need. 5 minutes later I finished writing letters, rolled them into bags and called my faithful toad postman. The world should not know about my other appeals. Gamataku, take Itachi's letters to the village, hand them over personally to Uchiha and Sarutobi-san. In general, the name Gamataka makes me sob with laughter. The parents obviously fucked over the offspring, calling him a toad hawk. Okay, this is a lyric. There is a long way to go to Sunu. I'm ready, let's go. Pakura nodded, and we set off. Oh, and I don't like sand, how I don't like it. The road to the sand was tedious, very much. The monotonous landscape also did not help to lift the mood. If the path along the upper paths in the land of fire personally calms me, then the path through the desert irritates. How do people live here? Sand dunes, storms, constant heat during the day and unbearable cold at night. While I was thinking, Pakura called out to me. Uzumaki-san, halt. She reported. You see the cave, in that rock over there, we'll spend the night there. It's very difficult to navigate at night in the desert. Since when is Uzumaki-san, and not a little bastard-kun? However, a hairpin in her address, she certainly won't miss it. You give entertainment. Pakura-chan, why are you so serious, Uzumaki-san? You are now the ambassador of List and Sun, and I have no right to speak disrespectfully to you. Completely ignoring my attack, she walked briskly towards the designated cave, and well, what about me? I sullenly trailed after her. The entertainment is postponed until better times. Uzumaki-san, come and please don't stare at my fifth point like that anymore, otherwise your eyes will fall out. Damn, something carried me. They've already come. Haven't I been fantasizing for so long? Trouble. And she's a devil, she recouped. Was I really staring? Although okay, I'll accept her game. Well, what are you, Pakura-chan? I was looking not only at the ass, but also imagined how I was roasting it to the fullest. I grinned, but my attack was ignored again, and I was humiliated again. Okay, forget it, I'm going to collect firewood or whatever you have here. I'll light a fire at least. Great, while I lay out places for the night. Did you take a sleeping bag? No? It's a pity, there's only one sleeping bag. And in truth, I didn't take mine, damn me. I also left scrolls with sealed things, sadness, in a word. So wait, what is she hinting at? Has the ice moved? I hope you get a good night's sleep on the cold ground. Absolutely. Here's a devil, he hasn't touched a fucking thing. Don't feed her bread, but let her humiliate a person. Okay, I'm going to go collect something that can be set on fire in this inhospitable desert. Having collected some branches, I was about to go to the camp with the loot, but I was interrupted by a scream. Futon, give Kamaitashi no jutsu. What the hell? The flow of the wind almost blew me away, but the chakra that I put into my feet in time saved me from an imminent fiasco, and I can see that if the whirlwind had blown me away, my dad would have said, "This is a fiasco, bro, stay where you are, Konoha bastard." Oh, they love me, Oscar, then. The yuck is unfinished, then a scumbag, and now this. Kunoichi-san, who are you, why have you come? I threw away the brushwood and deftly snatched the kunai from the holster that was over my forearm. It's not good to attack Konoha's ambassadors in Suna. The ambassador? What the hell kind of ambassador are you? I am a dog but Temari and I am your undoing. I'm lucky on such violent ones, so stop Temari. Damn, I got prettier. I remember the blackboard on the exam, and now the shapes are like this, straight class, and the face has become prettier. Futon, Kazajiri. I was ready to defend myself, but I was saved. Futon, Yai Hei 8. Pakura appeared in front of me and stopped Temari's technique with her technique. Set aside, the dog but Temari, how do you mean? You just attacked Konoha's ambassador. Explain yourself. That this blonde man is an ambassador? Apparently I still couldn't believe it. I'm sorry, Ambassador Sama, I thought you were an enemy shinobi. Sometimes Temari-chan, forget it. No, but what? I'm not hysterical, and besides, she'll get in trouble if I make a scandal now. To see the expression on her face is priceless, embarrassment mixed with surprise. Do we know each other? She asked in surprise. Apart from the Chunin exam, you introduced yourself when you attacked. In the end, I told the truth, we were acquainted in absentia when she, Gara and the painted one attacked the children. Have you forgotten me? Temari just wanted to answer, but the owner of Shikuden interrupted us. I don't want to interrupt you, but it will be dark soon, besides, we need to set up camp. Pakura reminded us in time. Temari, are you with us? Yes, perhaps. Besides, I have a sleeping bag with me. Somehow she agreed too easily. Oh, I don't like it. After this short dialogue, I picked up the brushwood, and we went towards the cave. It was really getting darker, the first stars were lighting up in the sky, the temperature dropped noticeably, and the cool air was quite unpleasantly cold to the skin. Of course I'm not cold, but I don't like this temperature. When I reached the cave, I involuntarily squinted, because there was pitch darkness inside the cave. Pakura saved the situation, she created a small fireball, which actually gave illumination. The cave was small, it would seem that there should have been more heat due to the size of the room, however, due to the fact that it is cold at night in the desert, and the stones cool down quickly, it was quite unpleasant and chilly. Without wasting time I gathered a small fire and the lady of the heat set fire to dry branches. It became noticeably better. Let's eat pills and sleep. Tomorrow is a hard day, a long journey and an audience with Kazekage. Naruto-san, you need to sleep. Take my sleeping bag, and I'll watch at the entrance. Pakura was extremely generous. Temari is on duty next. Stop, stop, stop. No one needs to be on duty, I have clones, and I suggest using 2 sleeping bags as a large bed. We'll just spread out and get a threesome. The idea presented by me was met with noticeable skepticism. What did you think, pervert? Yes I, never. Temari almost screamed, but was stopped by Pakura again. Temari, he's right, firstly, it's more convenient, secondly, we won't undress, and thirdly, we won't freeze next to each other. The green-haired woman brought worthy arguments that convinced this raving madwoman with funny tales. Why did I think I was convinced? But because she just snorted and began to spread out the sleeping bag. The evening reigned in Konoha, a peaceful atmosphere, because it was today that the war ended, which has no number. Today, the world of shinobi and the world of civilians will breathe easy. The one who will write a world-class PWP has returned. Dude, can you do it? An inner voice doubted. Have you been gone for 5 years? My dear, I'm still an asshole. I won't lose my skills in 100 years. After all, I'm the great Jiraiya #2. Attention, you have acquired the ability, player, that's the end of it.